about
Jess
traumatic.
is a dumb. She can't work the damn song. But now we're here. Talk some Cowboys. We're about to cheer. JoJo really wants a beer, but she's got to go to work this year. So we're just gonna drink my DP. Talk about Cowboys with my peepees. We lost last week to the funky ass Jags, you see. That's why I hate Florida. It's a really trash city, Florida.
Yeah.
I can't believe we lost to the Jags.
Man. I had actually, like, the trauma part of my brain has already blocked
It's
that
tapped
out.
It's tapped
Yeah,
out.
and I
Mine's just
completely
numb.
forgot.
Yeah, mine is just numb. You know,
I had actually completely forgot that.
like when we lose, I just stare at the TV like, all right. This is usually
But-
where I scream.
But it's typical, isn't it?
It is so typical. Don't get me started.
It's so typical.
Don't get me
Like,
started. Don't
as soon
even
as we
get me
as soon
started.
as we gain 20 points, we
Yeah, right. We get to 20
shit
and
the
we're
bed.
like,
we poop the
shit
bed.
this is nice.
Don't make no sense.
I like
how
it
we
right
shit
here.
The bed. How we shit that bed. Instead, can we win? Sorry, I'm high.
Welcome to episode. I have no idea. What episode is it?
I have no idea.
Let's just say 10.
Yeah.
We've been gone for a while, man.
Well, what
It's been
game
like a
is it?
month.
What game is this?
Hey, we've been
Skiggles.
gone for a minute. I like
But
Skiggles.
what game?
The number.
Yeah.
What's
Like
number?
14?
What's our record?
14?
Lord.
We're bad. We're
Welcome
bad.
to
Don't ask me about numbers right now.
Welcome to She Wants the D Shit Edition.
Come on. You be knowing.
She's gonna put them numbers, cause we're in a goddamn blunder. She's gotta put them on the internet, cause her ass did
Let's
forget,
look it up,
get. She really forgets, gets.
NFC East standings. The Skeagles sit at 13-1. The Cowboys are 10-4. The Giants 8-5, and the Commandees at 7-6. Meaning,
So this is game 15. So this is episode 15.
well,
No, we've missed a
minus a
couple
lot of
of-
episodes.
So it's probably episode 11 or 12.
Right. Yeah, probably
It
11.
would be called 15.
I feel like we missed like 3 shows.
Yeah,
4,
so it's
5.
definitely
4 shows?
I don't know.
Definitely 3 for sure.
Well, so the last show we did was
Vikings.
Vikings. Minnesota Vikings preview.
That calls for more edition.
So let's just take a quick little look-see poo here, yeah? Just for the fuck of it, right?
Search it.
Dallas Cowboys.
Search it.
Schedule. How's everyone doing out there, man?
Hey,
Howdy.
That
y'all.
roll call.
Okay, we played the Vikings November 20th.
Yeah, it's been a whole month.
Homie.
It's been a whole month.
It's been a
whole
month.
whole month.
We've been busy, yo.
Yeah, but
Life happens, people.
getting lives together. Unfortunately, we don't make our living doing this, so we have to
Yeah.
have regular jobs and regular lives.
We be
and
doing regular shit.
We be getting surgeries and stuff too.
We be
so.
moving and shit.
Anyways, we're here now.
Yes,
And
yes, we
we're
are.
here to talk some Cowboys. We're here to talk some Eagles. We're going to get into it right now.
You picked the wrong house, fool!
I'm about to end this man's whole career.
Damn, boy, he's thick! Boy, that's a thick-ass boy!
This is She Wants the D, an all-new, all-female Dallas Cowboys podcast.
I am a monkey face. Boom, bam, bop, bada bop, boom, pow.
And now your hosts, Jessica, JoJo, and Tracy.
I want me some glory hole.
So, it's arguably been the most anticipated game of the season. Cowboys, Eagles in December. Eagles with an almost perfect record in the NFL, which is just disgusting.
It is gross.
And yet here we are, and I'm not really all that pumped at all. It seems like, it's going to be Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, man.
Woo, that was a brain fart.
Brain fart.
It's going to be Gardner Minshew under center for the Eagles, which is just hella disappointing to me.
You can say that.
I mean,
again.
I do see Tracy's point. We were talking about this yesterday, and then she's like, you know, a W is a W, even if, you know, it is against the backup quarterback. And I'm like, yeah, but it's the Eagles.
I know.
Yeah, man.
I know it
It's
is
the
kind of like
Eagles, man.
you feel like
I don't
it's kind of
wanna-
like a cop out, but
I want to win fair and square,
It's-
and I want to lose fair and square. You
Yeah.
know what I
Yeah.
mean? God, I've been really.
I wonder how Jalen Hurts feels about not playing. I'd like
I
to
mean,
see.
I'm sure he doesn't like it. I damn sure
Yeah,
don't like
I
it.
can hear the Eagles fans now.
Oh yeah, you know
and
it,
that's
you know
why
it.
it pisses me
Yeah.
off. Because I'm like, if we win, it's just gonna be nothing but whoa, good.
Yeah.
And if we lose, they're gonna be like, "You lost the backup quarterback."
Yeah.
And
It's
I'm
a
just
no. We could win the game or lose the game.
We're damned if we do, and damned if we
It
don't.
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know why? Because Eagles fans are terrible.
But
They
we
are
did
horrible.
we clinched a spot, right?
Yeah, we clinched.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're in the playoffs, as are the Eagles,
Mm-hmm.
and those two things aren't changing. So there's kind of not a lot to play for. You know, it's kind of
Yeah, we're locked
just
and
kind of a
loaded.
dead game.
Yeah.
You know, and that sucks because it's Cowboys Eagles in December. Like
yeah.
that's the stuff that you wait all season for, and you look forward to, and you talk shit about, and you know.
We're getting down to the wire.
Yeah. And yet here we are, and it's just kind of like, meh, well, let's all just kind of play to have fun, you guys.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
That's basically what it is.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
unbelievably, there is a glass half full way to look at this.
Okay.
Because
Cool. Bring it my way.
I am a firm believer in the mentality of the great Tom Coughlin. He was the Giants coach for years and years. Him and Eli somehow won two Super Bowls. Still boggles my mind that
Somehow.
happened. But they did have a spectacular defense, so I will give more credit to that. But when you sit your star players, when you secure your playoff spot and your seeding or whatever you want to say, and you sit your star players, some would say it causes them to get out of that rhythm that they've been building week to week. You know, it's going to be like a struggle for them to get back, you know, and kind of in sync with the offense or whatever the case may be. And momentum is a really big part of football or in sports in general. And when you send a message to the entire roster that these certain players are too valuable to risk to our Super Bowl chances, but we can lose you.
yeah.
You're okay to lose.
That's
but
a great point.
We're gonna make sure these guys are okay, and it can kind of break up the camaraderie in the locker room as well. So this is a glass half full for me because I am a firm believer in not resting your starters. I think it is idiotic. I think it is
You've
dumb.
always said that.
The game of football is violent. It is physical. No matter if you sit at the end of the year or if you tear your ACL in the first game of the playoffs. We've seen it happen. It happened to Jalen Hurts against the Seahawks a couple years back. So resting your star players is more negatives than positives for me. So we should be a little excited heading into this week that they still have, 2 more games?
Yeah.
And they're going to sit Jalen Hurts. They know they're going to sit him the following week. So that means he's going to be on the bench going in for almost 3 weeks. No, over 3 weeks because they're going to have a bye as well. So
Yeah.
it's going to be almost a
That's
month
true.
before this guy throws a football in an NFL game speed action. So we might end up coming out the better end of the stick on this one, guys.
That's a really good point. I mean, I notice
'Cause we're
you
gonna be
notice
fighting
that
to
all
the
the
end.
time in the NFL. I mean, I notice it even, the Cowboys coming off of a bye always play like shit.
They get out
Coming
of the groove.
off, yeah, they get out of the groove,
Mhm.
and there is a lot to be said for that.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
mean, I also
Agreed.
Then we have like Micah Parsons who's been playing on an injury all season.
That
It
dude
seems
takes-
like.
That dude
Now,
takes
see,
naps. He
those are
takes
different
naps.
circumstances.
Right, and I look at Micah Parsons and I'm like, we really need to sit him, but yet I'm pissed that they're sitting Jalen Hurts.
Oh,
What
yeah.
the hell, man? But yeah, I
Uh.
mean, and I guess Jalen Hurts has a shoulder thing going on.
Yeah,
but I
that's
think it's
what they
more that
say.
they just
That's
want
What,
him
a
to
what they
shoulder
rest.
say.
sprain? Is that what they're saying?
I
It's
call
something
bullshit.
teeny tiny like that, yeah. So I think it's more about just resting him and keeping him safe from Michael Parsons.
Okay.
But you know,
Whatever.
in that case, so on our side of the ball, you know, I don't know if Diggs is going to play or Parsons is going to play.
I'm not sure either.
And so on our side of the ball, how does that compare? You know what I mean? Like saying, okay, we're going to lose momentum if we rest these guys. How do you feel about that on our side of the ball?
Well,
because these injuries have lingered. On Michael Parsons, he's been limping.
man, you can see it
Our
off
for
of
like
every
5
play.
or 6
Yeah.
games.
Yeah.
Our defense is thin on injury anyway.
Yes.
Now,
So
it's hard to say because we're not in the circumstances as the Eagle. Like we're not at the top of the NFC East. We're not sitting at an opportunity to get to the playoffs and give these guys an extra week to get healthy before we face our first opponent. So, I mean, I guess you would say it's up to the coach. You know, at that point, it's up to the training staff. You have to trust your players. You have to trust their bodies. You have to trust what they're telling you, what they can do, what they can't do. If we lose Michael Parsons long term headed into the playoffs because we chose to play him now and give us a better chance of winning the game, hell, based on our past couple performances defensively the last couple of weeks, you probably need to sit some of our players that are playing injured anyway. Because it's very obvious that we're struggling against the run, and that has a lot to do with guys being hampered. Michael Parsons, as spectacular as he has remained to be, you can tell like he's a step slower. You know, it's taking him a little bit more to get off the ball. They're not sending him in blitzes as more because, you know, he can't get that burst like he normally can. So it might be in our best interest to sit players and try and let them get healthy. But I just feel like they're not going to do that because we're just not in that position with all of these teams in the NFC still vying for, you know, those couple spots. We can't afford to lose any games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you're right about that. I just really worry about what this defense might look like heading into the playoffs if we continue to play full tilt.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Are we going to be
all
tired? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's something to be said for either stance. I'm not really sure where I sit on it, though. I'm kind of in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish Jalen Hurts is playing. I really do, man. But I didn't get my wish, as I so often do not against the Eagles. So, in order to understand exactly what we're looking at on this Eagles game, we need to take a look back at the past game, unfortunately.
Ugh, make me want to vomit.
Jojo, stop texting bitches. Pay attention. She's dipping out because she doesn't want to talk about Jacksonville.
I'm back.
And I don't want to talk about it a lot. I really just want to talk about Michael Gallup. What's going on? I mean, I love Michael Gallup.
Is he covered up?
Well, I mean, they use him as a decoy in a lot of situations, which I don't like. You know, it's not all on him, but also, I mean, he's got 31 catches on the season for 300 yards.
Yeah.
And we gave away Amari Cooper, who's got almost 1,000 yards on the season.
Yes.
You know, several touchdowns.
In Cleveland.
And I'm just, you know, I love Michael Gallup. I always have. He's been my number one receiver for a while.
Yeah.
But
he's a great player.
He just, since his injury, has been non-existent on this team.
It seems a little slower.
Yeah, a little slower.
It's harder for him to get separation from corners.
Yep.
His cut isn't as sharp as it once was. That's one of the biggest positives about Michael Gallup was his footwork and his ability to
just
break
a master
out of his routes. And Jesus, I mean, I called him Twinkle Toes. It was amazing the way he could catch a ball and get those feet in on the sideline. So you can tell that is not presently there. And sometimes it, sometimes it takes longer for players to come back from injuries than other. Like, everybody's not Adrian Peterson and comes back and rushes for over 2,000 yards after tearing your ACL. You know, sometimes it takes a little bit longer to get back in that groove and for your body to feel right again, for you to trust your body again. So I think that's what Michael Gallup finds himself going through. It's kind of a mental aspect for him as a player too, you know. So we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, I hope he becomes more present. We need him.
Yeah, but
We
I mean,
really,
if you
really
look,
need
they're
him.
really not calling his number a lot either.
No,
they're not.
they're not.
He is not like an option. He's not usually the number one option in any of the plays that they set up offensively. So, yeah, I mean, it's a combination of everything.
That's just kind of, I mean, that's wild to me. Like, but you would choose you would choose to go to Noah Brown over Michael Gallup?
I think because it's unexpected.
Yeah, he's not getting as much of attention as a Michael Gallup, but I don't know, man. You got a good point. Like, you would go to Noah Brown over, like, we've seen what this guy can do.
Especially in a situation in overtime when you know you're going to throw it low to get away from the defender. You're driving it down the field. You should be making a touchdown on this play in overtime in Jacksonville against the Jaguars. It should have never been in an overtime situation to begin with, but here you are, and you throw it low to Noah Brown when you've got Michael Gallup on the field.
Yep.
I mean, I just listen. I know
he was under duress. Let's give Dakota a little slack.
Oh, I 100% don't think that play was Dak's fault. I think Dak threw it right on the money.
It was in his chest.
Yeah,
it hit him right in the chest.
Deflected footballs.
I blame Noah Brown 1,000%.
Oh my
for
God.
that.
Yeah, he
fiasco.
didn't grab onto it.
Which is my point.
Defense, what the fudge sickles?
We don't have a corner.
How the hell do you allow them to come back? I get it. Our offense was stagnant once we got to 24 points. It took us a while
20 points
to get back
and
going.
Then we poo-poo.
But the fact that our defense with that lead went out there and in the second half just continued to let them march down the field. I mean, give Trevor Lawrence some credit. That kid played a hell of a football game. I mean, he made every play that they needed him to make. His receivers caught the balls that they needed to catch. The running backs ran when they needed to run, damn it. I mean, they just played well. And it's like offensively, we unraveled. The crowd got into the game. Usual. It was loud. It was chaotic in there. And, we saw one of those typical Cowboys games where, you know, they just fall apart, and most of it is self-inflicted. Like, it wasn't bad calls.
It always
you can't blame the refs. It was all the Dallas Cowboys.
Why do we do that?
We lose consistency for some reason.
Why? What is it?
I don't know.
In their DNA.
I don't know.
That when they get up more than 14 points, they just sit back and go,
yeah.
We got this.
And that's nowhere near safe. That's nowhere near safe in a game.
No, you have to keep playing football. You can't get sloppy and just say, okay, we've done our job. You know, we're good. 24 points
and that's what's crazy. Even with the loss to start the year with the Bucks, the Dak injury, it really looked like Mike McCarthy was like getting that mentality instilled into this entire team of the next man up aspect and fighting through adversity, because Cowboys in the past, your star quarterback goes down, we're done. We're toast. Tony Romo goes out. We have no chance whatsoever to do anything. And the fact that Mike McCarthy was able to not only keep this team afloat, but keep winning with that roster, I really thought that the coaching staff had finally cultivated like a culture where, you know, no matter what, we are going to figure out a way to win. I really, really felt that. And then the last couple of games defensively, and I know the injuries have a certain aspect to play into it, but come on, man. Like, I really thought that was a game that we were just going to go down to Jacksonville, you know, have a good time, chill at the beach. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, maybe snag a couple of Jacksonville cheerleaders or two and head back to Texas. And that's not the way it happened.
No, it's not. I mean, that's what it looked like in the first half. You know, we were kind of sailing along, doing what I expected us to do. I mean, and this is coming from someone, meaning myself, who
right here
doesn't have a lot of faith in this offense at all. I haven't all season. They've looked very inconsistent to me all season. It just seems like they have a lot of missing parts when they don't, which is frustrating to me. And I don't have a lot of faith in the offense. I do have some faith in the run game. That's been the only consistent part of this offense all season. But as a whole, I don't expect much from the offense.
Yeah.
So when they are up 17, I'm like, hey,
that's
life's
a
good,
disgusting
right?
thing to say.
Isn't
like
it?
you pay a quarterback all that money, you invest all the financial obligations into the players like Ezekiel Elliott. Hell, I mean, even look at Jalen Smith and the money we gave him just to release him. You know, you build and you put all this money and attention into these players, and this is the results that we get. Like, you know, like we couldn't. And Jacksonville is a weaker opponent.
Yes.
Like, if you look at their roster in comparison to ours, we have a better player structure. If you look at the coaching staff, we have better coaching. If you look at even offensively, if you look at us throughout this season in comparison to the Jacksonville Jaguars, we are better in all aspects, all three phases, as Mr. Garrett would say. And yet we still went out there and laid a fucking egg. I just don't understand. And this is why we get JoJo 2.0 this year. You know that? Because I didn't scream at the TV. I just shook my head back and forth a few times, took a couple shots.
You already
and
knew
took
it was
my
going to
ass to work.
happen.
Yeah,
It's
we're
like,
so
been happening
conditioned.
all
At this point,
season.
why yell? You know, it's just, it is what it is.
Every time we get a jump
We're-
ahead, we let it go.
Yeah, and we're so conditioned to just
and
expect
knowing what's on the line, knowing how tight the NFC is, and knowing that you are one of the contenders that everyone has been talking about, for you to go and perform that way, I just it's just gross.
So what is it? That's what I want to know. What I want to know is, why is this pattern happening? Why do we get up a couple touchdowns, maybe a couple touchdowns and a field goal, and we go, we're good, and then we just sit down for the rest of the game, and we allow the other team to come back, and then it's a shootout in the last 2 minutes of the game?
Is it overconfidence, or is it
Arrogance?
coaching?
Lack of discipline.
Coaching for sure.
Lack of
Coaching
discipline
for
for sure.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
and
Complete
lack of discipline is a direct tie into coaching, because
Yes.
if you have a coach that demands greatness and expects you to perform at an all-time high no matter who you're facing, because that's what it is. They play down to their opponent. I mean, there's no other way to say it. There's no way you should have had 17-plus point lead against these guys on the road, and for you to allow them to come back, I don't care what anybody says, it was bad. Dak made some ill-advised throws. The offense was out of sync. The play calling was idiotic and chaotic in the second half, and the defense just couldn't stop a freaking nosebleed. And it was just like, what the hell? It was like a series of misfortunate events happening over and over again. I kind of want to watch that movie.
Snowball effect.
Yeah. One thing happens, and it's like we just fall apart.
Yeah.
We fall apart, and then we're scrambling at the end.
I can't see why. It's nothing I can see.
I mean, it like JoJo said, it's a direct.
Yeah.
It comes directly from coaching, and because it would come from a severe lack of discipline.
I got bamboozled. Mike McCarthy had me in here thinking that he had finally figured some shit out. And it's just the same shit sandwich, just a different day of the week.
I've said it from the very beginning of this podcast, and I will continue to say it until it happens. As long as Jerry Jones walks this earth, we will not have a coach that will be able to take control of this team and instill real discipline and real culture into this team, because Jerry Jones will have his grubby, greasy little paws in every single decision made, and he just won't allow it. He just won't. Jerry is not going to allow anyone to actually coach this team.
Yeah.
And we know it. We know
it's
it.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know
Ever
what
since
I've always
Jimmy
pointed
Johnson
to
left,
is
it's
the
been
Jimmy
in the
Johnson
shitter.
curse. That's what I've always called it.
Right.
That man's still not in the ring of
Because
honor.
Jimmy Johnson was the last real coach we
Yep,
had that
yep.
actually got to coach.
Yep.
Parcells tried it for a couple seasons,
Got his
couldn't
ass
handle
outta
Jerry. So
here.
yeah, He's like, fuck this. I can't do
like,
anything
I'm not
that
dealing
I
with
need
this
to do.
narcissist piece of dog trash.
Yeah, and he got out. I mean, that was the only real shot we've had at a real coach.
Yeah.
And everyone else has just been puppets for Jerry. And the older he gets, the more that's going to be the case. It's just never going to change until he's gone.
This is true.
And Tracy seems to think that it's going to continue on after that because she hates Stephen Jones.
I don't hate him. I just think that he's more into the business side of it than football.
Yeah, he cares more about the money.
Yeah.
Well, so does Jerry.
Yeah. Yeah, but Jerry also loves the game.
I think
Jerry just genuinely loves football.
Stephen
you
Jones
know?
has never really shown me that he loves the game.
Yeah.
There's a lot more that comes with football
Well,
than
that's fine. He doesn't have to love the game.
Right.
He can just own the team and
Yeah.
have a GM that loves the game and have a coach that loves
Right.
the game.
And I'm so curious to see, not that I want Jerry to be gone, but I'm curious to see
Well, it's going to happen, so
who
we can
the
talk
GM
about it.
would be. Yeah. I'm curious.
Probably Stephen,
Probably
no.
Stephen.
No, I
Jones.
think Steven would reign
think?
in a new era. I mean, Tracy kind of hit it on the nail that he's not like a football guy per se.
Right.
Yeah, I
So-
see him more as a businessman.
After watching decades and decades of your father overstepping
Sales,
per se as an owner, why not just sit back, collect your millions, and just put the people in place to run the team when you've seen it all your life? Your dad over interjecting
like,
himself into
put
his
your
franchise.
money where your mouth is.
He's like, you know
Yeah.
what? We're gonna switch it up. I'm gonna go the opposite direction that my dad did. I'm gonna hire a GM. I'm gonna instill a coaching staff that I feel can get us to the championship level, and sit your ass in that owner box and
Yeah.
chill the
And
hell
shut
out.
up.
I hope so. Man,
Let,
what a
let,
dream.
let the
Yeah.
GM take the blame
What
and
a
then fire
dream.
him. You know,
Can you imagine having an
Right.
owner that
Oh my
doesn't
God,
have his
to not hear
fingers in
Joneses
everything?
That
every
would be
week,
weird. It would
That'd
be
be
weird.
weird. but
blissful.
I'm sorry, but it's what this team needs. It's just I don't see the Cowboys ever progressing to a championship level as long as Jerry Jones is in charge.
Touche.
There's just no way to do it. He won't allow it. His
No.
ego will not allow it.
At all.
And I like Jerry. I do. I
Me
think he's a
too.
sweet man. I really like Jerry Jones, but he is too he's too involved, and he always will be.
Yeah.
And he just won't.
Well,
he-
and
he,
yeah.
he won't allow it to happen.
Yeah.
He just won't.
This is
He's
true.
going to
This
continue
is
to
true.
make these decisions based on how he feels and not what's best for the team. He's going to continue to have his inflated ego, which will not allow him to have a coach that can actually coach. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, it's
until
a
he-
whole shit sandwich.
until
Like
he's
I
gone.
said. Just eat the shit, people. Just
Love him.
eat the
I
shit.
do. I do. I really do like Jerry Jones.
Get some spicy mustard. It'll go down easier.
Hey, Joe.
Maybe some
Our
syrup.
friend Joe from Italy is
Sh-
watching.
Shitty
Ciao.
syrup sandwich.
Joe from Italy.
Ciao.
Well,
I like the tomatoes with the burgers and the
Well,
spaghetti and the meatballs.
You want to do predictions or what?
oh snap! Yeah, we can do predictions. Let's do it.
With the funky Eagles, we're gonna predict. Yes. Just makes you want to work out, you know? Like just
Yeah.
climb some stairs. Oh,
I'm
God, stairs.
tired.
I don't know what's happening here,
I don't either.
Can you take me?
but hopefully it doesn't translate to the
the
podcast. Anyways, all right, let's do some predictions. I'm completely unprepared.
Yes, 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 yes.
I'll
yes,
go
yes,
first.
yes, yes,
Okay.
yes, 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 yes,
Let's
yes,
see what
yes,
you
yes,
got.
yes,
Hey,
I
Anna?
think that because our defense is thinned out on injury, that we're going to let them score.
Mm-hmm.
So
Been a lot
it's
of
going
that
to be a
lately.
close game and a high-scoring game, and I'm going to say 33-27.
33-27. Okay.
Yep.
I
Cowboys.
don't mind that.
Yes, absolutely. Shit.
That's what I'm saying.
JoJo.
Oh, is that a record scratching? Is that the sound of a record scratching?
She's about to pick the Eagles.
Yeah.
Is what's
I
happening.
know, because of what
That's
she
why
just
she's
asked
causing
me.
a scene right now.
What she just asked me.
Yeah. Just go.
And this is her.
Go on and do what we know you're gonna do.
This is her. putting
Oh,
on the
well,
squeal.
this
Yeah.
is what I have feared all season.
The eagle squeal.
The downfall of the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, Bowie.
The demise of what potentially had to be a great year through self-inflicted ignorance
Yeah.
on the football field.
Per the usual.
So we're going to face them dirty birds at home,
Uh,
and it's going to be a sad, sad song. Because Minshew is about to take a poo-poo all over this star. You feel
Mhm.
me?
Yeah.
My score is 24-14. Eagles.
ugh.
And the way
Yeah,
our
I
playoff
really
hopes
I
go.
felt that one in my butt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it went from my
Like,
heart down
all
into
the
my
way to your
stomach
crack,
and then
yeah.
immediately to
Yeah.
my butt.
And now you want to fart.
That was horrible.
And now you're going to fart and eat your shit sandwich.
I will never, ever, 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 ever,
Never.
ever pick the Eagles. I don't care how much I feel
Even
it might
if-
go that
2.0.
way.
Even if Cooper Rush was throwing.
And that doesn't even have anything to do with the
JoJo
Cowboys. That has to
2.0.
do with the fact that I hate the Eagles.
Oh, they're so gross.
They're disgusting.
What if
and
Cooper Rush was throwing?
Yeah,
You
I'd still
pick the
pick them. Yeah, I'm not picking the Eagles. I never
Never.
will. I never on
Never.
principle. I never
Yeah.
will.
What if we
Never.
only had 10
I will
starting
lose
players
every
and
bet.
we were disqualified?
I'll
No.
lose every prediction.
I wouldn't pick the Eagles if we
I
had
don't
to forfeit.
give a shit.
If
Look,
we had to forfeit, I wouldn't pick the Eagles.
Joe says Dallas 45, Eagles 21.
Okay, I like that one.
That's cute.
Yeah, I would never pick the Eagles. Never. Never, ever. If it was Texans, Eagles, I'd pick the Texans. Fuck the Eagles. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I bet you take the spread, though.
I'll lose that bet every time.
Bet you take them to cover them points.
All right. Well,
Well,
I think it's going to be a shootout. I think it's going to be a close game, high scoring. It's going to be stressful.
As fuck.
And in true Cowboys fashion, I think that it's not going to go into overtime. I don't feel an overtime.
But it's a nail biter?
But it will be a nail biter. I'm going to take the I'm going to take the Cowboys 27-24.
woo-wee.
Ooh, that's nice.
Okay, that's nail biter.
They're going to
Yeah.
disappoint you in overtime.
I mean, they might. I would not be surprised.
Tomorrow at 3:25, we
hey,
fitting to
hey.
see.
We fitting to see.
Hey, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas,
Yeah,
Merry Christmas, Merry
Hannies.
Christmas.
Happy New Year.
And a Happy New Year. It's a holiday, so we cheer. Because we can't cheer for the Cowboys because we know they about to shit the bed boys.
Oh, wow.
Are we going to make it to the playoffs?
Now I
and
want him to
can we
win just
shake
to
it?
spite you.
Yeah, you want to spite me, but you should want to spite the fucking Cowboys.
Oh,
you
I
see?
definitely do.
Hey, and we're gonna play. It's gonna be a Sunday, gonna drink a lot, okay. Because it's gonna be depressing to watch them lose on Channel 11. Okay.
Bruce said it's time clock management.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's not wrong about that,
Yeah.
which is another thing that the head coach does.
It's ego, man.
Or does he?
Yeah.
Although he has thrown some challenge flags
Yeah.
in the last few games.
Yeah.
He hasn't
Look at
won
you.
any.
No.
Finding your flag. Look at you. No,
So
red,
he
red
still
flag.
doesn't
Exactly.
quite know
Yeah.
how to use them.
Right.
He knows that you throw them
Right.
and then something happens.
Yeah.
You
and
know, you
then-
throw the flag and then the ref
Well.
gonna come.
And then you say words and then they're like,
You
oh
Let's
no,
just see
you're
if
wrong.
we get it.
Yeah.
Let's just
Look,
see.
and then the ref comes
well,
and he's like,
you know,
so
fuck
what's
it."
next?
Oh, well, I feel like throwing it.
What
Yeah,
do we
fuck
do
it.
now? What do we do
Yeah.
now? We threw the flag.
Oh, that's not how I do that?
So
What? I thought that was how I did that.
So
No?
we lose a timeout. We don't gain a timeout?
Oh,
okay.
shit. I thought
I thought if you toss this, you get a timeout.
Oh.
Okay, all right, no.
Oh, that's not it. Oh, well,
On to
okay.
the next play. On to the next play.
All right.
Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. Go Cowboys.